funny story. So it's about it's a funny story, and then also I wanted to share something. So it's about a principle. So there's a book that I'm reading, and one of the principles in the book is self-control. And first off, the funny story is, okay, so there's this business guy, he owns like this business, and he has like a front desk, and there's a lot of people who have been coming and complaining, and they're going to the front desk and they're complaining to the person working, like the front desk staff. And the person working, he's basically saying has no self-control. So this principle is self-control. So he hasn't been able to keep an associate on long enough yet. They keep leaving because they say, they freak out and go off on people, or have to fire them, whatever. So he basically, the funny thing is, so what he does is he hires a deaf girl. So that way people coming in complaining, they're going off on her, screaming, yelling, complaining about all these things. He hires her to just sit there and smile. And he says it changes the way that the people are going off and complaining about things. And he hires another assistant to sit behind her and to take notes about the important things about the complaints. And then once they're done screaming, they stop, and then they say like sorry. And then the lady assistant behind her hands the piece of paper to them and says, "Go to this department and hand them this paper." And it's like a consolidated notes of all the things they went off on. Anyways, it's a funny story, but it's an important point. It talked about how people don't have like self-control. Basically, it talks about everybody should have like mental earmuffs, so they can shut out outside things, things that don't need to be heard, or things that aren't important or constructive for them. Some things, there's so many constructive things to be doing in your life that you sometimes need to tune out nonsense and put your mental earmuffs on. If someone's screaming at you or is walking down the street saying stupid things, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. It's happened to me. Just a random person just starts screaming at you as you're walking down the street saying some weird random insults or something. You need to be able to just put your earmuffs on. And then when there's other things that are important for you to listen to or that could be constructive, is to basically like, listen, open up your mental earmuffs, never have a closed mind. That's another principle that I can talk about later, or that's a separate principle. But anyways, yeah. So principle 7, self-control.